Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Welcome to the Irrational Review. I am Irrationale. As many have pointed out, I say that quite often. This is Bobby Kane, and today we have a special guest within the wonderful Deimante. I mean,
Deimante.
I've tried to say it so many times. Is that wrong still?
Deimante.
Yeah. Deimante.
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 Deimante. Do you have to do the hand at the same time?
No, you don't have to do
Why
that.
do you
Just
judo chop when you say that name? It's
No,
not
Deimante.
Deimante, double chop. You know, do you ever have those two friends that you should never ever let mingle in a room because basically they join forces and take you on? Yeah, these two.
We may have taken the piss out of you a little bit.
A little
but
bit.
we're like a schoolboys, you know. They
Yeah.
You know what I mean.
So, I mean, enjoy this while it lasts.
You're being
Because it
picked
may
on.
not happen ever again. No, honestly speaking, though, I am really pleased to have you as a guest
With us
today.
again, but this time you were in the background of our
yes.
last one.
Yeah.
If anyone saw the last one, in the
Yes.
background you could hear a voice occasionally
That was me.
drift in.
That was me.
Yeah, we were very poor, so we couldn't afford another camera.
I know.
So you took the bullet and
That's
said
why
it's
you
fine.
made me bring my one.
Yes.
That's basically why
So if
I
you're
am
wondering-
here, just to
I
bring a
promised the
camera.
thoughts of
That's why I had to
camera.
come back, just because I
Yes.
can bring a camera.
Exactly.
it. But
If
then
you're
because-
wondering why we're in HD
So
on
if you
this side,
see me often,
Yeah.
then
Is this
just
your first
know
time
he
in-
needed a camera.
It's not that. It's also because you're winning personality.
this is my
Really?
first time in HD, and I'm very
It's your first
sorry,
time in
everybody
HD.
watching.
No, for
gonna
the,
put
one,
that
for
out
the
there.
one person out there who comments, I think his name is Pierre, on everything to do with Bobby, I think he's becoming slightly...
He's made one comment on my socks, but right on though, top man. I like him.
I mean, it's better than the last person who said you were virtue...
I was virtue posturing or something, virtue signalling, virtue signalling.
Which I had to look up because I didn't know what the hell that was. And virtue...
I have no
Virtue
idea what
signalling
it
apparently
Uh-huh.
is when I say things to make people like me. So I say stuff
Really?
like he was a bit
is.
upset.
Until do that.
He was upset about the whole, you know, the theme. We done one episode where we were talking about pay and how I said that it's not really fair if there is a pay gap between men and women and all that sort of stuff, and it should be on who's got the skills, blah blah blah. And anyway, this guy wrote in saying this is a myth. No, there's no proof anywhere of women not getting paid the same. Bobby's just virtue signalling. And then
Yeah.
both me and
And then
T.
you had to ask Siri.
Yes, he did. I don't know if anyone knows this, but Tino
yeah, exactly.
asked Siri.
He asks Siri
Hang on a second there.
everything, like everything.
Again, the attack begins, but it's fine. I can take it because I've got
He
this.
talks with Siri.
Who else out there who is listening uses their mobile phone, the money that they spent on their mobile phone wisely and uses the phone to the full potential? So I ask Siri questions. If I'm in the kitchen and I'm cooking something and I need to know the answer to a question, I'm going to ask Siri.
Jesus.
And half the time Siri will tell me the answer quite snap. Or sometimes I'll just get Siri to put something in my diary, like, you know.
Yeah,
but then
you-
again, I'll also be a snob and I'll see an advert on television for Alexa and I'm like... Who would need a thing in their house to talk to?
Yeah.
To do things
There you
with?
go. Siri,
And then,
delete this video.
Hey Siri,
Yeah.
what is Alexa?
Yeah, exactly. Hey Siri, how much is Alexa?
Harry, what is Alexa? Like that.
Hey Siri, what do you think about Alexa?
To be honest with you, if I say that again, I might just activate it to do a thing. Because
Yeah, yeah.
I
Or
really
you
Well,
can
like
activate mine.
no, where? Because I've got
Which is
one of those
weird.
voices.
Yeah,
that's
I
that's what I
know,
do.
I know.
But obviously, you can't do that.
He
within
has a voice
conversation.
like me.
I mean, we've
Yeah,
got very
like
different
you-
voices.
yeah, I know.
Mine's
I know,
like sort of luxurious.
You think so?
No, not like toilet paper you get.
This
in
is the
like,
effort. This is his
Yeah,
radio
no,
voice.
we sound
You're experiencing this silk. This
I
radio
know.
silk. Hello, welcome to.
Luxurious.
Good
I
evening.
don't
My
have a radio
name
voice
is-
per se. I think I just
Yeah.
speak clearer.
You sent a video to me and my friends the other day. It was me and Verez.
Yeah.
Laughing about how you're trying to put some bass in my voice because when we talk, when he records these things, later on, obviously, Tino, when he talks like, hello, my name is Tinashe. I have come
I'm gonna sing.
and I like to speak like this.
Yes, of
now?
course.
Yeah. But then
We
obviously
all
I just
have
speak
wonderful
like I
voices.
normally do, but then it does sound like I'm an 8-year-old girl in the video compared to him. So they just
So he tries to talk.
But there-
He puts on this foot, yeah, I know, hello.
Very serious.
So maybe I'll do this
Big man
whole
voice, yeah.
I'm gonna do this whole interview like this today. I think I will speak like
I
this.
feel as though
Don't try and high pitching it now.
that was my excitement voice. That's when I get excited.
Excitement.
When it comes out very rarely, very few times in life I'm excited. Like
Or
it,
irritated.
Virgin on both. He's on that. We're on that line.
Can you tell? So I'm trying to hold it together. I'm like, I just don't like this situation.
No,
You don't like it?
I mean,
But it's nice.
It's nice. I've got two of my sort of friends here.
Bobby and
for varying reasons. Bobby, because I can't seem to get rid of you no matter how much I try.
No, they
all
know
my
me
life.
downstairs. Now they just let me in.
You don't need a pass.
No, they gave me a pass. They spelt my name with an IE, which does
Ooh.
wind me up.
They spelled my name
Yeah, the
incorrect
two
as
of us.
well. Yeah, like,
We're going to go off and kick off about this downstairs.
Exactly.
I mean, there's-
both of
there's
us.
nobody
Like
there.
we are teamed up now
Oh,
with
I see.
everything.
I was thinking, right, with names and such, right? So I'll give you an example. I was in a shop the other day. What shop was it? I was at the gym.
Jim is
Here he goes, ladies and
Oh
gentlemen.
my God.
Just in case you didn't know, Tino goes to the gym.
Okay.
You see what I mean? Like, world or 7 people listening. Like, you see what I'm dealing with here?
Yes.
Basically, I was at the gym. And
Which
I'd
is
come
not
out.
a shop.
Stop doing that Facebook bit. It's not healthy. I'd come
It's all he
out and
talks about
I wanted to
now.
get
Yeah,
myself
all the time,
a broccoli and the beast smoothie. Okay, got to the counter. They're trying to be snazzy now. They're all like, "Oh, we'll write your name on the cup, like it's Costa or whatever,
Oh, yeah.
Starbucks, or whatever."
This has been your problem your whole life.
Yeah, and she said to me,
How do you
"What's
spell
your
rationale?
name?" How do you spell rationale? You really are an idiot. She said, "Oh." I said Tinashe. She said, "Oh, that's a bit exotic, isn't it?"
Yeah.
And I said, "What?" I said, "What?" She said, "Well," and she went, Trace. Listen to this, Tinashe. Have you ever heard of that before?" I've never been so insulted, and this is not like a fake scenario. This occurred.
In Essex.
Yeah, fair enough. It was in Essex. Yeah, that was the place, but it made me think. Right?
That's the accent. I mean, they're going to be Tinashe.
She didn't even say the name right. It was more like the thing what I'm trying to say is when somebody says their name to me, and I'm probably going to come a crop up because what I realise what I'm about to say is in contradictory.
Because
to
you literally just
no,
pronounced-
it's
Exactly,
different.
like
No, but it's
1,000
different.
times,
It's
like
different.
1,000
It's
times.
different. It's different. I'll make the attempt.
She made the attempt.
Did you?
She made the attempt in the thingy.
No. I didn't say, "Oh,
Almost.
what is this? The man from Deimante? Oh, what is
Well, you
that's
just
a bit
said that
exotic.
now.
Yeah, you
Technically, you
did.
did
Well,
just.
I'm
Yeah,
saying
like,
that in
I
jest
know.
because of the fact that basically
He'll
the
cut it
person
off.
said that.
Yeah, he's
He
digging
will.
a grave
Like,
here,
I'm not
mate.
doing a grave. I'm
I'll
gonna
leave
come out
it
of
to
this-
you digging.
You're not getting any brownie points here.
At the end of the day, right, what I'm saying is, in this particular situation, this person, and this has happened to me many times in life, they just chose to just continue on this ridiculous mission, even though I repeated the name to them. It wasn't even like a sort of impairment or like that they just couldn't do it. They just made a thing out of the fact that my name was so different and it wasn't Bob or Michael or whatever it is. I just thought to myself, when I was young, I had to learn names like Bob or
Exactly.
David or
Exactly.
Michael or whatever it is. I just made the effort, and I'm sure I just followed the sound that came out of somebody's mouth. And I'm not one of those guys who's like, oh, that's my race card. Douche, there's a card. You can't say anything. It's not about that. I just find people like that really, really rude
Yeah.
and lazy.
Yeah.
There are some things, like, for example, I have trouble saying that a certain bend in your name properly, but that's a lot of people. And then they'll go, oh, you need to change your name then to something simple like Danielle or Denise or something like that. I just felt like
That's why we call you Tino.
Yeah. Well, huh? Is
We
that
call
what
you
Tino?
Tino. Only because it's just.
Easier.
Well, no, I just like to call you Tino, Fastino. That's why I just made up names. But I remember the panic on teachers' faces in our school when we were kids.
Yeah.
And they're liberal, they're teachers, and they're trying hard. But everyone in our class, because we're lucky enough to come from inner London, so everyone was from all over the world. So we've got lots of Turkish kids, lots of African kids, lots of Caribbean kids, and all the names were tricky. And you could see this new person just from the home counties. Hello, it's my first day in scary London, and I've come to read the register. And I'm very accepting of everybody here. And you're like, all right, and then you see them just go, first day. Tanasahi. And then, I mean, bruv, like, do you remember, like, my mum, like, lovely lady, but she always did this thing. It used to drive me fucking crazy. No, where she'd try and do some sort of, she would assume
Oh, your
that
mum's a sweetheart.
this is how you pronounce it. So she would try and do some sort of like put an accent on to try and pronounce it in the actual way of the country. But then half the time my mates were like, no. Like, I had a friend called Jalil.
Oh, yeah.
He's called Jalil. My mum would only ever call him Jalil. And I kept on going to my mum, stop doing that. Why do you keep calling him Jalil? And then even he was like, why does your mum keep calling me Jalil? And I was like, I don't know, mate. And she was like, well, no, that's because he's from like Nigerian, and that's. And I was like, Mum, please stop doing the accent. And she was like, oh, I was like, oh, all right, sorry. And then she'd meet my other friends, and she'd go, well. And you're like, what are you doing, Mum? Just cut it out. So sometimes it is hard for some people because
It's better not to try.
Yeah, you don't know what end of the you either go on the ignorant end, which was your Essex gym after your broccoli burst. They didn't know what to do, so they've just gone. Do I just like go? Nah, mate. Like you're in England. Like I'm just going to call you Tinashe. Are you going to deal with it? Yeah. Or are you going to do the my mum's cultural when he's gone Tinashe? Tinashe. Yeah, you know what I mean. So you got to worry about it. Yeah, so that's the problem. That's why it's, to be fair, it's unfair.
I suppose it is a bit of a hyper.
It is easy for me,
isn't it?
Because I've got an easy name.
Yeah.
But they still spelt it wrong. I am not an 80s R&B singer. Please don't put an IE on the end of my name.
We can't really complain to Warner Brothers Records for letting us use their very fancy studio space. So I think if we get there, if they give us a couple of wrong name badges, it's fine. We get free coffee, by the way, just to let you know.
That you
I
never
didn't got
mentioned
any
this.
free coffee.
You've never mentioned
I
this
got a chewing
ever.
gum that I had to pay for,
When you get to the
electricity
desk-
that I had to pay
Yes.
for, and I ate my apple, and I didn't got any
Electricity
coffee.
that you had to pay for.
I've charged her for the
he said
electricity.
Yeah, he charged me for electricity. He said it's a pound an
charged her for
hour.
electricity?
I
He
didn't
said
think
it's
we
a
were gonna
pound
get
an
brought
hour
up.
to charge the phone, and I need to go
Yeah.
back
I've
home
made a fiver
and bring
out.
my camera.
I made a
with
fiver
me.
out
Yeah.
of it already.
That's
I've made a
Yeah,
fiver.
but he
£4
said
for the
you'll pay
chewing
for
gum.
that.
There's no account here. This isn't like expenses account. Like, what are you
Well,
doing?
you're
He said
personally
he'll
paying
do
for it because this is your review.
Yeah,
So
we'll come back to that. But amongst this whole kind of conversation of names and such, I've always kind of wondered: do we walk around having a sort of assumed judgment of people with certain names or who do certain things? Let me be more clear, I suppose. For example, with you being here today, part of the reason that I wanted you to be here today was to talk to you about your journey, because I just find you amazingly interesting as a person. I think you're awesome, like in all respects.
Says it to everyone, yeah.
not to me yet,
Yeah,
but
I mean,
everyone
like-
else, yeah.
I know,
most
like
people.
every guest.
Yeah. But to be fair,
A good start. You
is
can't
a
say
good
like,
start.
I invited
Yeah,
you to bring your camera.
Yeah, that's what you want to say. Yeah,
That's
you're
what
here
we
for the
do, and
camera.
then,
You are amazing, but
pictures
when
when
the
we
camera-
finish.
Exactly, you're the
Bring
most
your
amazing person I
camera.
know with a camera.
Yeah.
Did you
Don't
bring
come
your
without the camera.
That's your camera.
Yeah.
But in all seriousness, I think like
You have got a fairly interesting life at the moment.
Yeah,
I would
and-
say.
Right, because of a camera.
Well, the camera is capturing a lot of it because that's pretty exciting. Everyone likes a posh camera.
No,
but I'm
everyone
more
loves a posh
interested in the badass side of life,
yeah,
which
so,
is pretty damn badass.
yeah. Tell people who are listening, I suppose, who might not be understanding what the hell we're talking about. We were talking before the recording, and you called yourself a
I didn't.
badass. No,
It
in
just
like
came
a,
up
I'm a
in the
badass, but-
conversation. I can't like say,
Yeah, of
I'm
course,
a
but no-
badass. Like,
No, like you didn't put out the old classic rock sort
But
of
I think
hands.
within 5 minutes of you describing what you've been up to,
Yeah.
and where you're going, like for example, your camping holiday, everyone will go, "That's fucking badass." So you don't have to call yourself badass. I'll officially call you badass.
yeah.
Well, I don't. I'm
That's
assuming if
Now
everything,
you being nice.
rarely it happens, but no.
And we should be clear about the reasons why. Like, so basically, we met via social media, as I meet a lot of people these days, whether they're influencers, musicians, photographers, whatever it is, and we had a conversation because I came across you on one of my feeds of popular people, I think it was, or something like that, in the area. Because your page is followed by lots of enthusiasts who enjoy motorcycling and motorcycle apparel. So as you do when you're on Instagram, I had a proper little sneaky peek as to what it is that you did. And it just looked really cool for lots of reasons. First of all, I've always wanted to ride a motorcycle, but for reasons that shall remain untold,
We will talk about it.
Yeah, we will talk about
get there. I wasn't able to when I attempted to at that time. I've also got a love and a thirst for something that I don't quite have the courage to do yet, which is to travel. And you've done lots of that with your motorcycle across many, many places. And also,
breaking
I
stereotypes.
actually spoke to Bobby about this the other day before we thought about kind of having you come on. I love the fact that you're a powerful, or rather empowered woman who's a badass, going out there tackling stuff that many people would be, you know, perhaps kind of
like breaking social
stereotypes.
Stereotypes. Yeah.
I mean, you're
I
kicking-
agree
you're
with that. I
kicking them
break
up.
the stereotypes. I even
Yeah.
break the stereotypes of the motorcycle rider. I break every stereotype of a Harley Davidson rider.
and that
Basically,
Yeah.
how would you imagine Harley Davidson rider like this? No,
No, you think
Like
leather,
if you,
beard, sometimes denim,
big
large belly,
yeah.
possibly racist.
What? No, I wouldn't have put that one in there, but I suppose, yeah, maybe.
Well, no, the biker clubs, the Hells Angels and all
Yeah,
that sort of stuff
yeah,
back
yeah,
in the day.
exactly,
Yeah, do you know
they
what?
went through
Funnily
some
enough,
serious.
Exactly.
We used to rehearse at a place.
So you
I
want to
say
have
we.
the fucking old American?
Yeah,
That's why probably I don't like the term badass, because people associate it with that.
Oh yeah, dickheads.
With that, like exactly.
Yeah, but I think a badass is something completely different.
No, I think
So-
yeah.
People associate bikers with a badass from that point
Oh,
of view,
yeah.
whereas from
Well,
kind of like
we mean
Hells
we-
Angels and
yeah.
all the MC
Well, the Hells
clubs and
Hells
everything,
Angels-
which I have to do nothing
Yeah, I was
with.
going to say we,
Confederates flag. That's
yeah,
the flag.
exactly. In Hackney, next to the premises rehearsal studios, there is a Hells Angels den per se, and I used to just kind of look by there and oh my god, wow, that's so cool. But it's so close to where the rehearsal space is in the loading bay that anytime anyone parked their car there, they'll just stare you down and kind of whatever it is. And
Well, normally they're all accountants called Colin who work in finance,
Yeah.
but on the weekends, Hells Angel.
yeah, perhaps
You know what I mean? They don't really live the
perhaps
life anymore.
But I suppose I have no experience in that. And you'd know about that. What's bike life like? What's
Yeah.
it like? What are people like? This idea that we have, of maybe a very narrow view of what some badass bikers might be like. What have you experienced in your travels?
Okay, I'm riding a bike for 2 years now, almost.
2 years.
In September will be 2 years.
Yeah.
And not
When I
just any bike.
started,
A Harley, innit?
yes,
Like the
like it's my
epitome of-
first bike, brand new Harley,
What's it called?
Iron, Sportster Iron,
Sports Iron.
Sportster Iron.
The Sportster Iron.
Yes.
Oh, it makes me want to ride it.
Yeah,
I mean, I didn't make it. They
beautiful.
come out more
It's
sexual than it was supposed to.
beautiful.
Yeah, they did.
It just-
Aggressively sexual.
Yeah, it's very,
Yeah, it's
very
called
aggressive.
Sparrow.
Sparrow.
Yeah,
Nice.
Oh, yeah.
That's my bike's name.
Yeah.
We give names to our bikes.
Well, it's a
kind of like
personality, I guess.
yeah, because you spend lots of time with it.
Yeah.
And I got into it mainly because it was a challenge for me first of all. But starting riding and meeting people
Yeah.
who rides, it was like Narnia for me. I started believing in humanity. It's amazing. Like bike as well. It's
Excuse
you
me.
can't compare with anything. I don't know how it is in music business, but like I was in fashion before, and it's nothing like it. Bikers, like we stand for each other. We making friends for life. Just
community.
going to it. It is a community.
Well, I mean, how did you go about like? I know he.
Stop talking to my
He's in
Siri.
the action. So how did you go back from suddenly going, okay, I'm curious about this lifestyle to go, or did you just go, I'm going to buy the motorbike?
It was about riding. My father used to ride a bike, and I always
you've grown up
wanted
around
to. So
them.
it kind of like it came like through my personal life and everything. I came to the point where I had to start riding. I'm not going very deep into it, but it was a point where I felt like now or never.
The freedom of it.
Yes, I wanted to ride, and I was really scared because I never rode a bike, even a scooter before, just bicycle.
What, you went straight from zero to Harley?
straight away.
Fuck.
And
Badass.
I haven't even been a pillion before. So like I was on the back of a sports bike once.
What you had been a what now?
A pillion?
Pillion passenger when you go in the back.
Oh, is
Or
that
we
what it's
call it a
called?
bitch. Or we call it a
Oh,
bitch.
bitch.
Riding
Oh.
a bitch. It's when you go on the back.
You had
So
never
if you'll
been-
ever go on the bike with me, you'll be a bitch.
A bitch or
So
a
if I
pillion?
get on a bike with you, I'm basically your bitch.
You'll be a bitch. You'll be a bitch. Not my bitch,
It's
but
called
like
a
a bitch.
pillion.
But just
I did not
A
know
pillion
that.
passenger. You
Pillion
can call
passenger.
yourself a pillion passenger.
Pillion passenger.
I'll go with bitch. I'm gonna.
Yeah. You like a bitch. Badass bitch.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm a badass.
You're a bitch to a badass.
Yeah, bitch to
I'm
a
gonna go- I'm
badass.
gonna go
Which is not a bad
pillion
thing. No, like if you would go with another guy, then it's a bitch. But if you go with a girl, it's a bit different. Kind of
Huh.
like.
So, oh right. So in that sense, oh god, that's even worse than in that case.
That is very sexist. Is that
I
where they
don't
got
enjoy
the
that
term
at all.
from?
Like,
Like,
yeah,
yeah,
that's
yeah.
like.
Stick with pillion.
Yeah,
So wait,
yeah.
Pillion passenger.
you've never even been a pillion.
Once on a sports bike without a helmet, going like ridiculous speed. I didn't like it because I got all the bugs and the wind in my eyes and everything, and it wasn't nice.
Right, but then you were still compelled to go.
But I always wanted to ride. Like I imagined myself riding a bike. Like I saw the bikes passing, and I knew I wanted to do that. And yeah, I came and I said I want to do full license straight away. And they said, "Have you ever ridden a bike before?" No. And they gave me a scooter to try at the beginning.
Yes.
I said, "I hate it." I said, "Look, it has no point of riding. Like I sit like on a chair and kind of do the thing."
Yeah.
So they gave me the 125 bike, and I just went from this. It wasn't easy. It was scary. It was
Definitely
challenging,
not easy.
and it's still what I like about riding. Looking not from socializing point, but from personal point, and as like when you go alone, it's always a challenge. You always can lean further. You always can go faster. You can always
react quicker.
Yes, exactly. So it's
Push the
always
limit.
every single time you can push and push and push yourself until you'll be in MotoGP or something like that.
Yeah.
Winning the races.
See, therein lies the other side of this normal person's fears, I suppose. The dangers of wanting to push yourself that fast. For example, when I'm driving on the road, I know the older that I get, the more and more I push my car. The more and more I would take that corner.
It's just
Sharply.
comfort. When until we feel like you're at your comfort zone, and then you feel comfortable.
Yeah.
We're the kind of people that try and push our comfort zone. So
Yeah.
you are going to start driving like a bellend. But I'm driving around London, and motorbikes. I just sometimes I think, because I've ridden a motorbike before, and I've got myself a little. When I was out
In
traveling
Spain.
a lot, I've ridden like motorbikes in like Vietnam and stuff like that. But I've always just thought, in London, the risks in the rain when it's such a heavily rainy, and I just look at these and I just go, mate, because I was a dream. I wanted to have a motorbike. I always dreamed of having a Jeep with a motorbike in the back, and then I would drive to a point that I could drive, and then I'd let down, and I'd have and it was going to be either a Triumph for some reason or a Harley Davidson.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
always been the textbook one. I even had a little toy one that I would try and wedge into one of my brother's like toy cars, and they go, that was my vehicle. But I just look at people and I think they're brave, like. Because it's so risky.
That's where I was going. It's just one
watching
of those things.
drivers and bike crashes. I'm just like, but then like you say,
But that is what real bravery is.
Yeah.
It's when you're scared and do it anyway.
yeah.
It's not being
And that
like
is why you're
being
a
reckless
badass.
and being
Yeah,
That's why I'm a
exactly
That's why you're a
badass.
badass. Now we're back
None
to
of the
seeing.
other stuff. No races in bits. Nothing. No bits. More to do with the fact that you take on challenges.
Fearlessly.
Yeah, completely.
So have you seen the film?
Not fearless. I wouldn't say fearlessly. Like
Or respect
I am
for
scared.
fear. You have the respect
yeah,
for
I
it.
have respect for fear, and I'm scared. Like there is points I'm really scared to do things, but I push myself. I push myself through the fire, and then you become bigger, better.
Yeah.
oh, there's a message.
Did you ever see the film? Because lots of people's opinions about what biking is or being a biker is. You know the film Easy Rider.
Yes.
So lots of people, that's a weird thing, because that's good. The good thing about that shows the different sides of things. Like Easy Rider originally was like from the hippie movement, freedom. It just stood for freedom. Like
That's a key point.
That's what the whole point of biker
That's how we
lifestyle.
simply explain to like everyone what does riding means to you. That's the main question you get, and you like if you don't ride a bike,
You don't
it's hard to
understand.
you don't understand. So we just say it's freedom, but it's so much more than that.
Because to be honest with you, I think the times that I felt most free to compare to what you're saying is probably when I'm furthest away from the place that I call home and I'm not aware of where I am, and then I'm perhaps, even as sad as it sounds, right? You know, when you're on like a bicycle, or like you're kind of like going like on a
I've never seen you on a
Do you
bicycle.
ski?
I just suddenly realised I've never seen you ever on a bicycle in my entire life.
You've seen me on a bicycle.
I've seen you on rollerblades, never on a bicycle.
Can I get a jump? I'm shivering now. Like
Yeah,
it's
put your
just-
jumper on.
Yeah,
It's
go
the
for it. Yeah,
aircon.
yeah, it's all good.
It's freezing in this room.
But I think like the idea of freedom, like it's definitely to be in a position of complete and utter sort of control, but then also not necessarily being in control to a degree.
No, it's
No, it's carefree.
different, and as I said, we
Yeah.
say freedom, but it's actually a lot more than that.
Yeah.
It's like, it's very emotional. It's life. Riding is life. It's pushing yourself. It's learning. It's so much in it.
So now that you're like 2 years in now. You're like 2 years in.
Yeah, but I'm like properly in. I did 22,000 miles.
Wow.
Not commuting in 2 years.
So that's what I'm talking. So like you've travelled from where you'd mentioned before. You travelled all the way through Europe. You've done like
not all the way, but I went to Barcelona.
Through Barcelona, and through the Pyrenees.
Yes.
So those, when you set out on these massive, like intense rides, where you know, like, hang on, I'm doing 5 hours here of like
15.
15 hours in one go.
Not in one go, because I have to stop for
That's
fuel,
what I
but
mean.
like in one go, in one day.
So you're doing a 15-hour ride.
I crossed with Spain from coast to coast in one day.
Yeah.
If anyone rides Harley Davidson, I did it on Sportster.
I don't
With
know-
10.5 shocks.
Hang on a second.
I don't know what any of that means.
What does that
But,
mean? To the
basically,
average-
it's almost hardtailed. It has no suspension at the back.
Oh my
Oh.
backside must be like
So,
just. You must
So you were
be,
just walking like John Wayne for like the entire time
Yeah.
you were in Spain enjoying your holiday. You're like,
I cried.
It was worth it.
At the end of that day, I cried because
Well, I
it
can
was so
understand.
emotional, and I went through so much, like so many different views, so many different weather conditions. Like it was everything. It was cold, snow, wind, rain, everything. And at the end, it was heavily raining. I got into the motorway.
Yeah.
Just the last bit, because I was going through the mountains and it was raining, and the motorway was under construction. It was roadworks, and my goggles started fogging, so I had to take them off. And I was riding 60 miles per hour, because you can't go lower speed
'cause you're on a
than the
motorway.
lorries, because
Yeah.
they'll try to overtake you and they can kill you very
Yeah,
easily,
they're
because
very intense.
they
You've got no
can't see
protection
you.
as well.
And I'm not wearing any high vis because it's not badass. So.
Oh my god! I'm not wearing high vis because it's not badass.
but that's the biker game. Then I mean, that's the thing. You're like, no, I've got to be rock and roll.
you just keep going. It's like life, you know. You just keep going no matter what. So it was raining into my eyes. I was going in the line with the lorries. The road was all over the place, like potholes and everything. It was night already. I did 14 hours of riding already. My whole body was aching, and you just keep fucking going. That's
'Cause-
life. That's
Oh, man.
living.
I guess a lot of
That's how it goes in the life, you know, when you in the shit.
Yeah, just power through.
And that you have to keep
I
going.
guess with motorbikes as well, because it's you don't have, like, in a car, people who drive a lot, they've got a stereo on, they've got distractions.
Yeah.
Whereas with
So
motorbikes,
easy.
a lot of it's just your own thoughts.
Yeah,
and
the
you
sound of the
have
engine.
to and
Be aware.
yes, yes.
So
you
15 hours is you on your own with your mind, trying not to let your mind wander, because you have to concentrate
yes,
enough.
exactly, because
So
it's
you're
a
like-
road you don't know.
Yeah,
You
exactly.
follow the sat nav. It's all kind of like you're at the point of the mountains where you ride for like 3 hours, nothing, just goats. No people, no houses, no villages, nothing. Empty road, no cars, nothing. You are alone. You go up in the mountain. There is a little stream going on the road. You're on the bike, which is not
Sounds
suitable
beautiful.
to go.
To be honest, yeah, that does sound quite idyllic. Like it sounds.
But it's
you don't-
challenging, because you
Yeah.
have to take that turn
Yeah.
on the stream, and you think, like, for the moment, you think, what if I fall down? Like, the birds will eat my eyes
yeah.
and I will die.
Yeah.
And nobody will ever find me.
Yeah, because you're so
That's a
so alone.
bleak. But I mean, that's why I
that's
guess
how you
bikers
push
become so
yourself.
headstrong, because that
Yeah.
it's rare that someone's like their main way of travelling about the place becomes such a challenge. Because what I can imagine, when I did a little bit in Vietnam, like, I'm not going to protect. I'm nowhere near your league. Like, I'm not going to put myself in that same thing. But you drive down the coast. You go from like Hanoi down to Ho Chi Minh, and you go down in stages. And I was riding, and you know, you rent these bikes, and they obviously set up for tourists, and then you follow like a really simple route. But like, I because I'm so used to like walking around with music or having conversation, all this sort of stuff.
Yeah.
That isolation sort of side of things,
Yeah.
I couldn't help like thinking about lots of stuff. Like it became almost cathartic, like almost like a meditative sort of state.
Yes,
because
it's meditation.
you spend so much time just going. You're focused on. So you know, in a car, you can't really meditate because you put the radio on. You got music on.
And you don't
Yeah,
feel.
constant
Yeah, you don't exactly. You don't
You
feel
don't
anything.
feel
You're not-
because
you-
you're not aware. You don't
Yeah,
have
yeah.
to be, because your life doesn't depend. Like, at some point, it does
Yeah,
a
to a degree.
little.
Yeah, like a tiny
whereas
bit,
on
nowhere
the
near like a bike.
like little mistake, if you not like. you have to act like everybody tries to kill you, basically, because there's so many idiots on the road, and you have to be careful of every single car, basically. So you have to be aware constantly. Like, I had a reindeer on the road twice during the trip. He just jumped in the middle of the road. So, like, if I would be listening to, I always listen to the music when I ride. I listen to your music as well.
What, can you?
Of course.
How?
See, that's
Just
I asked her about
earplugs,
this, and she was
yeah.
like, "Yeah, of course." I just
I
put
have
my
a
headphones
custom
in.
earplugs which is like inside my ears, and I have my phone and a sat
Alright,
nav
so
and everything.
people do listen to music,
yeah.
so that's even more
Kind of
meditative.
And I
your-
listen to Irrationale.
Like,
Yeah,
Fast
I do,
Lanes.
like-
yeah.
It's a good driving song.
Thanks.
And the dancey one.
Yeah,
all of
that
them.
dancey one.
The
We don't want
dancey
that.
one and that
Yeah,
one.
thanks. Cheers. But basically, it doesn't blocking the environment around you out suddenly
Hamper your...
hamper your judgment skills.
It does, but at the same, I don't know. I think I just got used to it because I listen to music all the time, and it's kind of I can at the same time I can concentrate. I don't know.
Yeah, I guess the same like driving. When I drive, I listen to music.
Yeah,
So when
exactly.
you
Some
did your-
people can't.
Yeah. Some people, they can't
Yeah,
because
yeah.
they...
Some people, they can't listen to
What, when
music
they're
because they
driving?
have to concentrate.
Yeah, I know lots of people who are
I have
skins.
no idea what that's all about,
exactly.
because,
So
like-
it's the same. With riding, is the
Wow.
same.
But
What
so I
an
mean, 'cause
amazing
obviously, I guess...
skill to have though, like to be able to actually maneuver. For me personally, because the story is
Yeah, so what
when
happened?
I-
So what
when I
you were
tried-
saying you tried to learn how to
Yeah,
ride a
they're
bike?
like-
Yeah, this will be edited out.
This will be edited
So we're
out.
going to keep bringing it up every
But
5
tell us
minutes.
the story because you have a good excuse.
His torso. No, is that what it was?
No, it was a leg.
Okay,
It was
it's not
something
even
with
that
a
much of a
leg.
big story. You guys are making it more of a big thing than it actually is. Basically, when I ruptured my Achilles that time
Badminton,
playing badminton,
Injury.
yeah,
it's a dangerous sport.
I ended up get so annoyed and so frustrated because just before I was, just before I did that, I was going to go pick up my CBT sort of like license to be able to ride a moped. So then I waited 6 weeks when I thought the injury was healed, which it was healed, but I had no strength left in my left leg, which I stood on now. Went to the thing and I was doing all the tests that they make you do in those really boring kind of like green high-vis jackets and like the slowest ped ever. And they said, all right, you need to dismount from the bike. And I dismounted. They were like, dismount from the right-hand side, please. And I dismounted fine and held the bike. And they said, dismount from the left-hand side. And as I dismounted from the left-hand side, the bike fell on me and like several men... several men had to basically come and assist me from being squashed by
And all
like
like the 16-year-old kids
50cc.
coming up to help this.
All the children in the back, like
Yeah.
all the sort of like
The kids
heavily
learning.
pregnant women in the street, like were there to help me to.
Yeah, I
to
mean
get
that's
the thing
pretty
off. So,
embarrassing.
like,
yeah.
But why didn't you come back? Why
Because
didn't
life
you come back
ensued,
straight?
and I
No,
just-
but straight after like a couple of weeks.
Do you know what it is? I think I then got this weird fear because shortly afterwards I heard a story about a person who was riding a bike and very very easily in London was squished to bits.
Yeah.
Like, just squished.
I've heard so many stories.
and it's
like
just with life the way that it is generally speaking. I just kind of think, you know what?
And you're just about to have your little ones and stuff
Yeah,
like that. It's
right.
once you start kind of going,
Yeah,
was
you're
it
weighing
worth
it
the
up and you're
risk?
like,
You know what I mean?
It's the risk, isn't it? You know, you
It
kind
is.
of look at it
It
that
is.
way. But then I think now in my sort of golden years, or if they're even that, I feel like I would love to actually get on one. I would love to
Yeah.
sort of see what it's like, but I think I would probably do it never in London.
Put it on your bucket list for the future.
Yeah, but I just
Like,
and
country
you,
to-
you just made me come here. Like I had to come all
Through
across
central London.
with my camera.
Yeah.
through
Yeah.
central London, like
I feel like-
in the ridiculous heat. I had
Because
to
that must be a
ride.
nightmare in the heat.
It
when
was
it's really
a
hot.
nightmare, and I
'Cause
couldn't
you-
take my jacket off because
Yeah.
it's a central London, and everybody
yeah.
tries to kill me. And I came and like,
Yeah, nightmare.
and he
Thank
said,
you.
"I'll never ride in London. Like if I'll ride ever, I'll never do this in London."
Yeah, but
I
he's
think it
nowhere
takes-
but
what I'm
it's
near.
trying
okay
to say
for
is-
you too.
Yeah,
because,
he's
like,
nowhere
yeah,
near the
you
bad
have
It takes a
trouble.
certain
yeah.
kind of person, I think, as well. Jokes aside, to be able to take those kinds of risks with
Challenges.
life. I don't think, basically, I don't think it's a simple thing as
But
like,
you've
whatever,
always
especially
been-
with like really serious machines as well that are not like a joke. However, saying that though, not in a negative tip, but I do find that when I'm driving,
You hate them.
I know.
He hates
I
them.
get this.
He
It must be
hates
like
them.
a back and forth thing with people where like you hate some drivers and I must hate some bikers.
Is
because
it like two teams where you got the
Yeah.
motorbikers? They think they did because drivers generally think motorbikes are a nightmare, and the motorbikes are they thinking fucking drivers?
yeah.
Yes, and riding a bike makes you a better driver. That's
More aware of the
Because you're
road.
awareness.
not even a question.
Do you wear
Because
a,
you're aware of
a
everything.
little camera when you
'cause,
drive?
only for
The big
YouTube
adventures.
videos and,
Yeah.
and things like this, but not,
not
for
day-to-day
safety and day-to-day safety. I should probably, but my bike is very loud. It's like ridiculously loud, so I just rev and,
Oh,
and
no, I was
everyone
gonna
just
say,
goes to the side.
That's the only thing that pisses me off about motorbikes.
See, yeah, because
In
you've
London
got to see from
now,
our perspective.
on it,
As-
like
as
I can
car
imagine someone
riders.
going vroom when you go, oh, they feel the power. But if you're just in the street and you're there, you're having a conversation or you're eating somewhere and you hear something, and you're like,
Yeah.
who the fucking that fucking
You must know that. Do you know that as
Yeah.
a rider? Like, I'm definitely annoying some people here.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, I know.
So
I
do you,
know.
take pleasure in it?
Yeah.
Yeah, see, I knew they do.
Knew it.
Mate, on the road by my house at night time, because you know it's been like hotter than the devil's nutsack for the last few weeks.
Nutsack.
Because it's in hell, it's already hot, and that's normally a warm area.
Okay. All right.
But it was hot as fuck, and so we've had all our windows open because you know everyone's like trying to sleep. There's like no air, and everyone's just like. So we have all our windows open, and they're doing roadworks right outside my house, and I'm gonna call him a prick. I don't know if he's a prick, but there's some prick driving a motorbike around and he gets to the temporary traffic lights right outside my window, and all I can hear is. And I was like, mate, why are you doing that? But obviously, when you're on the bike, you feel the power.
No, it's not just the power. I love the sound. It's beautiful.
I'm not gonna lie,
It's
mate.
like-
I do enjoy the sound of, like, if I'm in a go kart or something like that, and it's a proper go kart. That's the only thing I've got to compare to.
It's the same.
Oh, you
Harley
think?
Davidson. I'm gonna go kart.
Oh no,
It's the same. It's exactly the same.
it's not the same.
No, it's
But
not the
anything
same.
that has an engine or like any. Oh god, that was a really bad example.
take him a bitch. you as well.
Yeah, no, I've been a bitch many
There's
times
enough
on
bitches
that
to go
motorbike.
around. Thank
He's
you
alright
very
to be a
much.
bitch.
There's
You
enough
not that
bitches.
much,
Yeah,
yeah.
thanks.
And I'm taking you to central London. Yes, we're doing this. Next time I'm bringing a spare helmet and we're going central London. You go the bitch.
I'm down with that.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
We
do-
yeah.
I
will be a
think I
challenge
respect your life. I respect what you do. We haven't even got into the other
Yeah, I was gonna say,
abundance
like-
of things that you do. Like, you're a photographer who's bloody good at a job. You document your life so well. You and your family, like the way that you. I think there's a lot to be said for people who are on social media doing things to help other people, to influence their sort of decision making and for their own gain and stuff. But it seems like you're showing a lot of yourself, and I think that's a great thing, and I commend it really. I would love to go into many more details about your life, but then I just think your head would get too big.
You're not allowed
Far too big.
No,
Yeah.
exactly.
I just want to know what it's like. Do you ever get
Yeah.
like people going, you know, in the biking circles?
Yeah.
Is there still like a machismo level where the guys are a bit like,
That's something I
you're a
wondered,
biker,
actually.
but you're just a girl biker?
There is sometimes I
How do you
still
feel
like.
about that?
There is situations when people don't know that I ride a bike and I just sit on my bike with
Yeah.
having a helmet off and everything, and
For the
they
photo.
assume that I am not for a photo. I just come to the meeting and I sit on my bike just like every biker does,
Yeah.
like eating my ice cream or whatever, like drinking.
That was not what I was expecting.
I wasn't
Is that what
expecting
biker
to
meetings
come
are
out.
like now?
It's not a bad
They're always
idea.
having a
Ice
hug and
cream,
does.
That's not very badass. Like,
Nice.
Yeah, it's like yeah. So and somebody comes to me, is that your bike, babe? Yes, and it's just, you know, people think it can't be your bike just because you are
Girl.
a girl.
Yeah,
you can't
no.
ride a fucking Harley Davidson because it's too hard. It's like
only men ride
too
Harley Davidsons.
badass. It's a
Yeah.
man
Yeah.
thing, you know.
What do you do with those people?
Nothing.
Do you just ignore them?
Ignore
I
them.
just ignore them. Yeah, I just ignore.
Do you
they're
get
not-
challenged
basically
by
in the
male
life.
riders on the road or anything like that at all? Because they're being male and egotistical and whatever it is. I just wonder. Or do you? Because I suppose when you're on a bike, you can't really tell who's
No,
necessarily male.
mostly when they find out that I actually ride,
Yeah.
then everybody's nice.
But there seems to be quite a female. You were saying there's like a bit of a female community building now.
Yes.
In terms of motor
Yes.
club, like there's even clubs
Yes,
of.
yeah. It's not clubs, but more like meetings.
Yeah,
There is a
groups.
few clubs, riding groups of female
Yeah.
riders. But I'm trying not to.
Split 'em.
Exactly.
Being known as a woman
I
rider.
can exactly.
Just
I
a
don't want
rider.
to be like woman ride and ride. I
No.
don't even want to have a group of girls riding girls. We do events, we do ride with girls, and I'll go to the girls camping tomorrow.
Yeah, but
girls
it's kind of like
only camping for
Yeah.
a whole weekend.
Sounds a dream though. To be
yes,
fair.
it's also kind of like
yeah.
a bit-
Well, I love camping anyway.
yeah.
It's amazing.
I've been
You
trying to
just
get
must be like-
when you're
I've
on
been
the
trying to
bike
get
and you
these
park
guys
your
going.
bike
Yeah,
in front of a
that's very
tent,
cool.
and it's like
Yeah, I have to
you
say,
wake
when I
up
see
in
those
the morning,
pictures-
open the door,
Yeah.
and you see your bike.
Do you have? Is there like rivalries with like the classic bike people against the road bike people? Because that's the biggest competitive I see. Where you go,
there is a
I'm
thing with
Kawasaki
sports
Ninja.
bikes. Yes,
Yeah.
exactly. And like you are so slow. Like
Yeah.
Harley Davidson, it's
Heavy,
It's like, it's
slow.
too slow. It's not even really riding.
It's like a
Really?
classic car
Yeah,
versus
there's
sports
things
car.
like
So what
this,
do you think of
but-
super bikes then? And
I love it.
Yeah.
I want one.
yeah.
Oh right.
As well as my Harley Davidson. I love
They
all
must
the
be
bikes.
so
Like,
scary though.
I can
can't
tell
even
you,
deal with the,
I did a test
Yeah.
on.
I remember I
on-
saw something
yes,
flash up on your social
yes,
media.
I love it.
Yeah.
It's different. It's different challenge again. It's totally different from what I already ride.
Yeah.
It's amazing.
Yeah.
But I'm kind of person, I see the bike and I want to ride it. Any bike.
Yeah.
Basically from old
You ever
and
one
slow.
of those little ones? You know the little, the funny ones.
No, I haven't. I
would
haven't
love to-
tried
I
yet,
just
but I
dreamed of
wanted.
having one.
I want to have like 4 bikes. At
And
least,
a little one, so 4.5.
and a little one.
You know, the tiny ones?
Yes,
Oh, they're
yeah,
good.
just for fun.
Yeah,
you
just
know,
for fun.
like,
Not for, like,
yeah,
sensible.
Yeah, exactly.
But just every night,
Yeah,
little
just
mini
to have fun.
Kawasaki Ninja.
Yeah.
That's what you want.
Yeah.
The classic.
I'm not very much into like green of Kawasaki, but actually
Oh,
I've
yes.
changed my mind a little. Like I always say, I have 3 least favorite colors. It's yellow
Yeah.
because it doesn't go with my face and everything. And
Yellow doesn't go with my
Kawasaki
face.
green.
You know, that yellow
Kawasaki green,
Yeah.
alright.
Kawasaki green and Harley Davidson orange.
Oh, really?
Yes.
What colour's your bike? Speaking of which.
like
It's grey. It's
charcoal
gun
grey, isn't it?
metal grey.
grey.
It's gunmetal grey.
God, it's so metal grey.
That is seriously cool.
One
And
moment.
also,
Sorry,
like,
this is-
the problem about like that I've always felt like I would love to get involved in all that sort of stuff, but I don't find myself. I don't like heavy metal enough that I would feel
I
like.
don't listen to heavy metal. I listen to.
Well, that's what I mean. That's what I didn't know.
I-
That there's
and
this
I
whole
listen
world
to-
of.
some heavy
to-
metal. I remember the thing of you.
I don't listen to heavy metal.
Oh, that's the thing that I would assume. Just that,
That's just like
you're
a
not allowed
stereotype.
in
That's
that
another
world.
I mean, look at you
stereotype.
then. Hey, man.
Another stereotype.
You
What
must listen
other
to some,
stereotypes
you
you
know,
have?
like-
Well, that's what generally like people. I always assume like I would like to be a biker, but then you in your head, every biker like going to a biker bar. When they say biker bar, is
Yeah, like-
you picture these
From
like
dusk till dawn kind of
1980s
thing,
dusk till
without the
dawn.
vampires.
Yeah, exactly like that. That you walk in, heavy metal on the go, some bar fight in the corner, a big dude called Ned
Well, that must be
pulls
the
up
existing
against
thing.
You'd be
It's got to be a
surprised.
thing.
I was
That's what I
like,
mean, how it's
actually, but
changed.
actually it is. And
There are bars like that, though, surely.
Yeah, don't worry
in
about
the
that.
world,
America, like-
actually, I went in one of them, but like it wasn't a biker bar. In France, it was heavily raining, very cold. I arrived on the weekend in France. Everything is shut. There's no people on the streets. It's like zombie apocalypse. To be honest,
Nice.
Like, I felt like
Great
this,
way to
like,
turn up to a new town.
Exactly.
Something
But
to
I love France. It's one of the most beautiful countries and nice to ride. And I arrived to that town, stopped for a petrol. It was raining, and of course the petrol, whatever, it's just pumps. It's not even a station. It's like 2 pumps standing in the middle of the road almost. It wasn't working. And across the road, I spotted pizza place,
Yeah.
and 2 policemen left it, so it's open. And I just thought about like a drink and hot food
Oh,
that I
yeah.
didn't had for like 2 or 3 days because I had no time. I just go, and everything was closed and like for many reasons.
I mean, generally,
And I
have
was
that
all cold,
with
and
pizza.
it was raining. My hands were cold, and my feet. And I was just thinking about cup of tea and pizza.
Oh, you're making
I
me
went
think about
into
pizza
that.
now.
I know. Oh, pizza would be good.
Next time, bring more
Next
food.
time, yeah, food.
Food.
Pizza.
You
Provide
yeah,
food.
in the
Do
middle.
this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I came in like all happy and everything.
Destroyed
Careful now,
it.
careful now. See, too
Destroyed
excited.
the pizza shop.
Give me
I came in, just smashed the place.
Almost like to spot like beautiful Italian style family kind of restaurant, and it was was a shithole, like completely.
Oh, shit.
It was like one of the places you see in the movies. About 6 men were standing on the bar and drinking, and it was scary.
Yeah.
And I was just
They
about
would
like to turn around and go quickly and leave. But then I thought, I'm a
that.
badass.
Yeah.
I came on
I
a
forgot
fucking
about
Harley Davidson
Yeah.
all the way in the rain. They looked at me like I'm alien. They probably heard me coming
Yeah.
as well on my bike. Like,
That can't be
and
that.
they imagined like a big man coming. I opened and I asked for a cup of tea. And I had my cup of tea here, just sitting. All the 6 men watching me,
Yeah.
like, and I had my cup of tea proudly.
But no pizza.
And
You didn't go
no
for-
pizza. No.
You were like, you walked in there and you went, sanitary wise, Pizza's out, Pizza's out. I love the
I've
tea.
seen your stoves.
But you would be
I'm
surprised
not
if
too
I would
fan.
show
I'm not
you
a fan.
the pictures of this place. It is
Oh,
a
God.
proper, like, it's a place you would see in the like.
In the movies.
Yes.
But in my head now, I'm picturing it like a movie. Like the door
was like-
swings
Yeah,
open.
exactly.
You're stood there in silhouette with like your leathers on and your. I know because you said
No
they don't.
leathers,
No one
no,
wears
no,
leathers.
no,
But in my head,
yeah,
obviously, natural. Like in a film, you're there, leathers, helmet down the side. All these fat, greepy dudes just turn around and see you, and you saddle in, slam your helmet down on the table, and go. Cup of tea, please.
No, it wasn't like that. I was wearing a rain suit and the water was dribbling all off
Oh,
me.
yeah,
I was
see,
all
little
cold
bit less
and
Hollywood.
slightly
There's a piece of
shivering.
bogey dribbling down
Not
your
quite as
nose.
Hollywood.
Yeah.
Nice.
Not quite as Hollywood at all.
No.
Oh, fantastic.
Yeah, but it was a situation.
You just stories for days, and
yeah, oh my god.
it
Like,
sounds as though
every-
the lifestyle that you live when you're out there traveling, and just generally speaking, the bike doesn't just give you this sense of power and whatever. It gives you a wonderful sense of freedom, as we spoke
Yeah.
about, and the
Yeah.
ability to travel to lovely places. And
Yeah.
I champion
Push
that.
boundaries and conforms.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Right on.
exactly.
All day, every day.
Yeah,
Thank
yeah.
you so much
Stay
for
strong.
coming in and talking to us today. I really appreciate it. I'm going to have to say it's been one of the most interesting visits we've had for a very long time.
He says it's
Very long
much.
time.
Yeah, he is. And
No.
you saw because you were here
I
last
know,
week and
yeah,
you saw
exactly,
his last.
Exactly.
He said that to everyone.
Exactly the same.
Yeah.
Well, it's been emotional. And before these
What does
two
magnanimous
lay
mean,
into me-
Tino?
No, I'm
Just
not going
no.
to it.
You've
I'm not-
called me
I'm-
And I'm
magnanimous.
calling
the
you
show.
Tino from now on.
Magnanimous
Yeah.
is a word that we
Magnanimous,
show out. Hey
magnanimous,
Siri,
okay.
what does magnanimous mean?
Ignored. So this is what
So it's the way I feel about
you.
you.
Yeah, but you
I'm
called me
generous
that the whole
giving.
time. That's not what you meant. The whole time you called me magnanimous.
This has been fantastic. Thank you so much for listening. I am Irrationale, and this is Bobby Kane.
Magnanimous.
Wait.
And
Deimante.
Almost.
Deimante.
We will get there. Tune in next week for more ramblings from us two, and hopefully another guest. Thank you very much for listening. Goodbye.